Good morning, my Facebook family. How you guys doing? So, my guest today is Miss Shakita Valentine. Very powerful lady. She's going to be my co-host today. And today's topic we all know is going to be about child support. Like I said on my pre-live video coming into the studio today, we're not doing this show to bash anyone or to criticize anyone. We're actually trying to figure it out. That's the name of the show. Let's figure it out. So that's what we're trying to do. Brother Charles, Sister Gwen, hey kid, you guys always support me. And by all means, like I say, my show goes as the call-in goes. You got to call in. Hey Mona, what's up Ed? Delonte, welcome back. I love you guys, man. Felicia, what's up lady? All right, we about to do it. I'm gonna put my guests up on the camera in a second.
Hello.
Brother Charles, right about now.
In your closet.
You feel me?
Of your closet. What am I doing here? Would you keep caviar in the
Getting everything set up. Miss Shakita just went live. You live too, Shakita?
I'm on here.
Hey guys, I want to introduce you guys to my good friend, Miss Shakita Valentine, in the studio.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Give him a little something.
Oh,
She said, "Oh."
I can't wait to have this conversation this morning with Archie Beslow, our
Right.
good friend. Chime in today. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to answer any questions you might have. And like you said, we're not here to bash anyone. We're just here to figure it out. All right. Talk to you later and hear you later.
There you guys go. Brother Derwin Weldon, my man. Hey, Michelle. Miss Davis. You guys are the best. So child support, very interesting topic, you know. When we often talk about child support and child support situations, it always comes from a bad place. Well, at least from the people that I have dialogue with, it's always coming from a bad place. And we need to change that. Once again, that child support thing is a cycle that we need to break. Hey Vicky, what's up Cookie? How you doing? We need to break the cycle of making child support situation scenarios a actual argument or debate amongst adults while the child or the kids suffer from it. Good morning, Trina. Artiste, good morning, my friend. Good morning, Cuzzo. What's up, Angela? Yeah, like I said, I have a go-go background, so I got to, when people names come, I got to shout them out. My man Ronnie Hall. So hopefully from today's conversation, we would get some form of understanding on how we should go about it. My man Steve, what's up, champ? DMV's on, my man Steve. So again, the phone number is 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. Trina B. Hey, Kari, Miss Watson, how you doing? So, what we're going to do? So, I want to get you guys' opinion on, and we'll talk about. Hey, Erica, we'll talk about it when the show actually starts. Samantha, how you doing? Samantha, I got Miss Shakita in the building.
Hey, Samantha. Miss Attitude. Hi, honey.
Uh-huh. I want to get an understanding on why, you know, if someone is not paying, we don't allow them to see the kid, or if someone is not paying,
I'm here with Archie Beslow.
we talk badly about. Hey, Shantae.
We're gonna go on air soon. Hey, Samantha. Hey,
So yeah, I just want to get an understanding on what should take place. There are some people that can't afford child support. Brother Ross Scott, what's going on with you?
So today's topic is child support.
All right. Give me a minute.
At 1450 AM and 95.9 FM in Washington, D.C. area. If you do not have that or you're not in the States, you can go ahead and chime in.
The number is 1-800-450-7876. What's up, Brother D?
Download the app.
Haywood North, Murray Kennedy. Thank you guys for tuning in. My man Haywood, happy retirement, my friend. Hey, the retirement life is a good life. My man Jay said, morning to everybody. Here we go. We about to start. Let's have a good show.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Let's figure it out on the Archie Beslow radio show. He cares, he shares, he knows. The journey of our youth is in our control. So tell your family and tell your friends. We all should listen in. Let's figure it out on the Archie Beslow radio show.
Good morning. Hey, hey, hey. The gang's all here. I'm in the studio with my good friend and guest, Miss Shakita Valentine. Miss Shakita, I know you said good morning already, but say good morning again to our friends.
Good morning, Radio Land, good morning, Facebook Live.
So, Miss Shakita, let my listening audience know who you are, what you represent, what you're about, and the things that you have going on to get this thing started.
I possess a lot of titles, but first and foremost, I'm a phenomenal mom of 2 teenage sons. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a preacher. So beyond all that, I just do what I do.
So do you have a publication? You have a book that you have out?
I do have a book. It's called #Spiritual Selfie. It's about coming to your authentic self, the journey by which I had to travel to figure out who I was because I was raised in a split household. So to find that out, I had to go through some things without my dad being there. So it's that journey.
All right, awesome. So let's get into it. But before we start our show, I always got to give my dues. I call them my dues from Pick 6 Academy, where they're developing leaders by dedication, discipline, and determination. The Pick 6 Academy is located at 10011 Good Luck Road in Glendale, Maryland, 20769. Their website is pick6academy.org. That's picksixacademy.org. Those guys are doing phenomenal things with our youth, developing great football players, and they're a good group of guys, man. I pretty much know them all personally, and I thank them for the sponsorship. Like I say, this show does work off of sponsorships, and by all means, for people that want to support myself in this show and this journey where we're trying to go, I will need your help. But with that being said, we're going to move on. So today's topic is child support. So my dear co-host, I'm going to jump right into it. She just told me about the term deadbeat dads. Again, I need you guys to call in on 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. This thing about deadbeat dads. Shakita, tell me what you do through your research, where the terminology deadbeat dads came from.
So I had to figure it out. I had to find out, why did we start calling our men, our black men or our fathers, deadbeat dads who weren't taking care of the household? And I found out it actually became a law, and it was called dead parent punishment. And that's where we get the whole premise of men getting incarcerated and fined. So there's a law. It is a law. It was established in 1998. And so that's where we start, developing the term deadbeat dad. And it's like, no. It really started as deadbeat parent.
Deadbeat parent, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Both sides.
Hey, so once again, that's something that I didn't know. The term deadbeat dads. And I also asked Ms. Shakita, was there a term also for the young ladies? And at this point in time, there isn't. So this is what I want to ask. I want to ask you guys this. Again, the number is 1-800-450-7876. This topic is so kind of touching to me because I know how it affects our youngins. And non-custodian parent refuses to pay child support, can't afford child support, or flat out just stop paying. However, does spend time with their child or children. So if mom or dad is not paying, do we keep the child away from them? What do we do? What should we do?
Well, there's some things you can do, but you have to first determine what is the value and the focus. And the focus is the child.
Right.
A lot of times we come into positions where we resent or we can't stand the person that we, conceive the child with. So that's why we hold this grudge against them, and we hold the child as bait, basically. Right. And so what should we do? We should find our own value, our own playing ground by which we think which is important. So no, don't keep your child away from your father unless or the mother unless it's a unhealthy, toxic situation. We're clear on that matter.
Right.
But everything else, it should be amenable. You should
can't be
allow
spiteful.
people. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely not. Don't do that. That's why we get baby mamas from.
Exactly.
So-
I'm gonna jump right into it. We're gonna take our first caller because, like I said, this is going to be a topic that's going to be fueled by the callers. Who we have on the line? Hello, caller, go ahead. Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Who do we have on the line?
This is Blair Joffrey calling from Clinton, Maryland.
Hey Blair, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. What do you got for me?
I just want to speak on the topic because I am considered, I guess, a single mother. I'm 25, about to be 26.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a 6-year-old son. As far as me and his father goes, we were together maybe about 6-7 years, off and on. And the whole child support situation, I never intended to put him on child support because of the fact that I know his life and I know what he's going through.
Awesome.
And I know, when he can do it and when he can't do it. The most important thing to me is the relationship that they build together personally.
Right.
So I would never keep my son away from his father, no matter if he's giving me money or not giving me money. I know that I have things that I have to pay for myself. As far as my son goes, when he can give me money, he gets his shoes, he gets clothes and things like that. But he lives in a totally different state, and he's also considered part of the military.
Okay.
So when he's around, it's important for me to get my son to him or he comes to visit him to spend that quality time so that they can build their bond. No matter how I feel about him, that has nothing to do with the relationship between them two.
That's very so, Blair. That's power. You hit several components of the reason why I've been bringing this topic up. A good friend of mine, I talked to him the other day. One of my besties. He made a very valid point. If a man is paying $500, or a man or woman is paying $500 a month for child support, and the wife or the man or the woman that's not paying, saying that's not enough. So my friend was like, well, if I'm paying $500, where's your $500? And you telling me that child can't live off $1,000 a month? That was very powerful. My thing is when people start, instead of making it and you can help me out, Shakita, I'm trying to get my thoughts together because it's a very touching subject. When people get into this whole battling thing or this debating thing about the child support, instead of sitting back, just like always when you're at work and your boss give you an agenda to do at work, you sit back and you kind of map everything out, and then you start actually going through with your agenda, right? But when it comes to dealing with child support, anything that brings anger, we come from an emotional reaction opposed to actually sitting back and thinking about the kid first.
Correct. That is true. However, it becomes a tit for tat. It's because the custodial parent is covering more responsibilities of the child versus the non-custodial parent.
Right.
And so that's when it becomes, well, where's your 500 or where's my 500? My 500 is in mortgage, food, clothes. Your 500 is probably just covering medical benefits. So that's when it becomes a contentious place. But we should always we know this, but we forget this part because we are so focused on the person that just didn't fulfill our dreams, didn't do what they're not carrying the bag as much as we carry the bag, whatever the other parent is doing. So we come in this place of contention. Whereas my philosophy is I would have had to put a roof over my head anyway. I would have had to put food on the table anyway. Right. So I'm going to take care of my child. And I took on the responsibility as a mother. I get, the dads probably said they would be in it too. However, that they veer away. Moms even veer away. I mean, I was sharing with Archie's beforehand. It's evolving now where males are now becoming a custodial parent. Right. It's like moving towards the 60 percentile, and women are moving towards the 50 percentile when it comes to the custodial parent. So we have to be very mindful about this whole debate about child support. There's to the point of the caller, there's non-cash support. Yes. You got to look into that. Yes. I mean, medical benefits, I don't have to give you $500, but I'm paying $600 a month for medical benefits. So, yeah, it's a place of contention, and we shouldn't tit for tat. Not at all. Not at all.
So, Blair, you have some advice to give. If you had to give a young lady some good advice that's dealing with the situation of, he ain't paying nothing, so I ain't gonna let him see him, or I ain't gonna let him see her. I'm tired of this because I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. What do you say? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, the advice that I would give to a young lady would be, you have to put your own pride aside at that moment. Yeah. You have to think about the child. You have to put yourself in your child's position. What would you do without? I know I wouldn't be able to live without my daddy in my life. You.
All right, so,
for sure.
But Blair, yeah, I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna bring you back on the other end of this commercial break, okay? Because I want you to continue talking to us. Hey guys, we're listening to WL 95.9 FM, 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com, where information is power. This is the Archie Beslow radio show. Let's figure it out. We'll be right back. All right. So, right. So, again, the number is 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. I need you guys to call in. We need to hear it. We need to talk about it. We definitely need to talk about it.
I need yours.
We got Miss Tiny coming in.
I know. See,
it's all good. Yes, ma'am. But good. I'm sorry. I know. Let's talk about it.
Because I had a deadbeat dad.
Here we go. Right?
He's a deadbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bunch of us.
So the question becomes, what makes him a deadbeat dad?
Right.
Everybody defines a deadbeat dad.
When you got about, how many of it is it? I think 8 and a possible.
I got
Okay.
you.
And you don't take care of any of them.
Okay.
At all. And I got to watch you take care of your wife and her kids.
Okay.
But we walk around without any of the basics.
So was the relationship distorted because you didn't have the basics? Did you
We
communicate?
didn't have a relationship at all.
Okay.
Like he focused on what he wanted to focus on. Like we're cool now in the latter years, but that's post child support.
Right, I got you.
Right.
Which at that point, when you're paying child support, you got that many kids. I got like $40 a week.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
I got you.
That wasn't.
What is that doing?
That's
maybe
powerful.
much money. Maybe much money.
Even in the 90s, that's still not
Right.
doing much. That's not putting a dent in anything.
So how has that affected your relationships going forward with men or?
Oh, I'm hypersensitive about that. If you don't
Gotcha.
take care of your kids, I can't talk to you.
Yep.
Right.
Easy.
That's facts.
I can't talk to you at all.
Easy.
That's a valid point. Yeah. So I'm a youth football coach, and I get it all the time from kids actually confiding in me about their living situations.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard stories about. I have actually had a young man come to me and say, I just don't think it's fair that my dad takes care of such and such, and he doesn't do anything for me.
Exactly.
And that can be very detrimental to a young man. And once again, if you are a dad or even a mom in that situation and you are listening, or you know of someone that is doing that, this is why I have this platform, so we can talk about it and help other people. There may be deadbeat dads that don't even realize that they're deadbeat dads. You don't know everybody's situation. There are a lot of people that lives in a place of being embarrassed.
And keep in mind is that's a piece of it. But they're probably deadbeat dads because they didn't want to deal with the mother. What was the relationship with the mother? Just like you have this baby mama drama. I can't stand that term.
Right.
But it's like, I'm going to stay away from you, and that because of that, you're causing me to stay away from my child. So that could possibly be a thing. Though they may feel like I want to take care of my child, I just don't want to deal with the adult, supposed to be the adult in the situation. So then you won't have that time spent with them. You won't have that time invested. And then if I give you money, oh my goodness, and you're going to bring me more drama. So, yeah.
And the other side, which what I dealt with, and some of my siblings is, I guess, baby mama drama, where some of our mothers was on dope at one point.
Yeah.
And you knew that. But you left us in those situations.
That too. Yeah. Running away from the problem instead of...
You left us in those situations, knowing the situations, and you still opted to take care of your wife and your stepkids, who at the end of the day, she left you, they don't fool with you, and now that you're older, you don't even know your own kids and your grandkids, and holidays, now you're lonely and want to cling to us, but we don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
I got you.
Those are components.
So they left. It's pretty much left in a
All right.
toxic situation, and where her dad could have stepped up and said, you know what, let me take on the responsibility of my children.
Right. It's yeah. Like my radio show is like a real live radio show, so I ain't gonna always be grammatically correct because I want to grammatically. There you go. There you go. Thank Miss Shakita. She got my back.
I'm here for you.
So again, the number is 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. Please call in and share your thoughts.
Yeah.
That was
Please do.
Miss. That was a very valid point that Miss Tiny said, because you actually are watching.
So
We're
guys,
back?
If you have any questions, just go ahead and hit them on live, and I'll.
So Miss Blair, you still on the line? Miss Blair, you there? Awesome. So Miss my dynamite engineer, she came from behind the booth. Amen. I love it. Very valid point. Very valid point. I want to finish the what we were talking about, Blair, before we went to commercial break, about the advice that you may have for a young lady
Yeah.
that's getting now. So this is another component too. If you're a young person
Mm-hmm.
and you're having so many people that's in your ear about what should be done, this should be done this way, you should have done it this way, you should listen to this, you should listen to that. But the same people that are talking to you, they're going through the same problems, if not worse, and they still haven't resolved their situation. But yet they're kind of like trying to dump their situation on you to kind of like bring you in with them without giving you any type of resolution.
The best perspective is the non-self perspective. That's
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So you're going to get that advice from people as to what you would do or what I would do, because they're not living in that. But, I mean, the common denominator for child support and the topic of child support is the child.
Right.
So I think anybody can speak to the well-being of a child. You
Right.
would want the best for that child.
Yes.
In every situation. Blair, did you have something?
Yeah. The relationship between me and my son's father, we have been through so many things. I'll give you an example. He has 3 kids, and they're all the same age. So imagine I was the person that he was supposed to be in a relationship with, and he has 2 other daughters that are older than my son. So my son was the last one born.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine being young and going through something like that, and how much that would, basically break your heart and make you, make people, I guess, look down on men and feel some type of way towards them. But I couldn't let that hinder the relationship between him and his son, because I know how important that is. My dad had 3 boys, and he was always there for his kids, and he's always been there for me. So I had to put my pride aside, like I said before, and make sure that no matter what went on between me and my son's father, that they would have some sort of relationship.
Right.
And like I said, he never has been on any type of official court ordered child support, but because of the fact that I was, helping him and allowing him to see his son and still encouraging him to be the best man that he could be,
Mm-hmm.
that made him feel more comfortable.
Yes.
I heard him talking about before how, the relationship between the mother and the father is like, well, I don't like you, so I'm not going to let you see your child. And they're using the child as a pawn. And that's the thing I cannot stand about mothers and fathers in this day and age. I'm talking about my generation.
Blair, I completely applaud you. Thank you so
Real
much,
talk.
because you are ideal representation of how these type of situations should be handled.
And I'm gonna step in and applaud you, because once again, I'm not doing this show for entertainment purposes, Blair. I'm doing this show to actually have people like yourself call in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get that people are on their phones and they're looking at they're looking at Facebook Live and they can't make the call because they're on it, but you know somebody that's going through something that's not on Facebook Live that can actually call in so that we can bring change. Yeah. We have to stop. What we have to do is we have to stop playing with life and stop making things be like cliches. Mm-hmm. So it's cliches to just sit back and listen to the Archie Beslow radio show because I'm cool with Archie and I want to support Archie. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the purpose of the radio show is to bring change. Mm-hmm. The purpose of the radio show is to find out answers and resolve and solutions so that that person that's in your family, you can actually go back to that person in your family and say, hey, I was listening to a radio show
and I learned something.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried this? Mm-hmm. And my thing is I'm challenging my listening audience. If there is something that you know that you have implemented to someone in your family and it worked, this is the time to actually talk about it and share it. And also for my Facebook listeners, my live listeners, actually type it in and I can actually repeat it on the air. Let me do this. And I know it happens because, like I said, once again, I'm a youth football coach. The question is, do you talk badly about the non-paying parent to the child around them or others?
Absolutely not.
You don't.
Absolutely not.
Right, and you should.
The crazy
but it happens
because the emotions are built there, and this is what I say to women that I find doing that is, you need to find yourself and settle yourself first before you have any interaction with this man or with this woman, right. Because you will begin to bash them publicly and privately. Whatever you're doing privately, it's going to eventually come out in the public. Right. So one of my Facebook, one of her parents at daycare just constantly bashed the other parent. Right. And what are you doing? What are you doing to the child? What are you doing for your own image? Right. If you're bashing this person? I mean, truth be told, you picked this person. Right. You know, so if you want to constantly keep speaking negatively about them, then it's also becoming a representation of your options and your selections. Right. So be careful about talking about them. For sure. You
guys know when I take a deep breath and I pause. Hey, now sure, I want to thank Blair. I want to thank Blair for coming on the line. That's huge. I really appreciate that. I talk to a lot of young men and a lot of young ladies. I'm a kid advocate. That's why I actually became a youth coach. Mm-hmm. Kids often, they hear everything that adults say. Mm-hmm. Now, I've had young ladies come to me and say, why did my mom despise my dad so much? Yeah. You know, my dad is doing the best he can. My mom know my dad doesn't have this, but my dad is doing that. My mom won't let me see my dad. Yeah. You know, whenever my mom gets mad at my dad, that takes away from me and my dad's visits.
Yeah, it happens. But they are only, and let the mother tell it, you're only saying one half of the story. You're only hearing what daddy's telling you or what daddy can't do, or I know he probably can do more, or she wants him to do more. Right. And so it creates that place of contention. And yeah, they hear everything. We know this. They will repeat you in a minute. Yeah. So we just have to be careful about speaking life to them and speaking life around them at all times. Even, you know, you got to learn how to hold your own tongue. I know you're grown and you want to say whatever you want to say, but you got to learn how to hold your own tongue, especially for those who are listening. Right. And learning from you. You're becoming their example. If you are bashing their dad and you're bashing their mother, you are now their example of how they should speak to other people and how they should look at other men and women. Right. Think of yourself as the representation for the rest of their lives. Right. So whether it be child support or just them living out, you are it, mom or dad or parent or custodial or non-custodial. You are it.
So I always like to go there. So we get upset. Individuals would get upset about a child support situation, and they would like just run amok with it. You know, this person ain't no good. Well, you can do this. You got a new car. Yeah. You got this. You got that. Why can't somebody be the bigger person? Whether it be through an email, whether it be through a text message or something, to get your point across calmly to the other individual. What I've learned, people can't have face-to-face dialogue because so many scenarios are played in their head when they're talking to the person. Back in the day, people will write love letters.
Yes.
Or if they had to express it, like if
they wrote a letter.
They wrote a letter. So I think that's still effective to this day. Now, you may say, well, he's not going to read it or she's not going to read it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because you have to get it out.
You have to get,
not everybody's going to receive what you have to give to them. And to the place of communicating face to face, I recommend when it's ever come to a place where you're going your separate ways, or it's a place you feel like it's going to be a place of contention, or you're having problems with child support, you should meet face to face initially. And I say 2 things: bring a photo of what your focus is, which is the child, and frame what you want and frame what you're going to do.
Powerful.
Both individuals. If we're going to meet face to face, bring that photo, bring it in your phone, because this is our focus of our conversation, and this is how you're going to frame the conversation. I'm expecting. I'm going to do, and this is going to be the impact on our child. And that's it.
That's it.
I mean, that's that face-to-face. Get rid of the emotional aspect. I know it's there, ladies. I know it's there, men, because you just, they can get on your nerves. And I get that part.
We have to
be an adult.
We have to. I got some of my people. The court system don't care about dad's relationships, even if he pays child support. The custodian parent can violate court orders and nothing happens. Dads lose out on the critical years. Valid point. Let me go to the next one. I pay child support for 3. If none of the moms get their way with me, I become the bad guy to my kids. That's not fair. But my kids see the good in me. Amen. Women use the kids to get at the brothers. Don't do that. Don't do that. Communicate with me. I might have said that wrong. Child support is a killer for a young black man. This thing is epidemic to being incarcerated for impregnating a woman. All right, guys. All right, listen.
The system. Let's talk about the system.
Let's talk about the system. Yes, ma'am.
We all know that the system is set up to. The system is set up for males to fail. It's set up for black males to fail. We're clear on the system is set up. So
we keep and hold your thought. Hold your thought. That's another thing too. We talk about this system. We talk about how somebody is setting us up to like the prison system. That's a setup.
We're not going to the same place.
Exactly. That's a setup. Child support. That's a setup. Bill collectors. That's a setup. Not paying rent on time. Okay, I'm not paying my rent on time, and you get a letter in the mail, but you mad at the rent office because you getting a letter in the mail because you ain't pay your rent.
That is complete ridiculousness.
But so you're gonna go all in with those situations, but when it comes time to talk about your child support or taking care of that kid, everybody walks a thin line. So we coming up on another break. I see my man Butch McAdams in the building. I always gotta give my man Butch a shout out. That's my dude. You're listening to WL 95.9 FM, 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com, where information is power. This is the Archie Beslow radio show. Let's figure it out. We'll see you guys back after the next break. Thank you.
1450 W.
So driving home, that the system is always set up to. It is. We systematically.
And we know it.
We know that.
We know it.
So throughout the system, do what's right.
Do what's right.
Just do what's right.
The system. Oh my God. That's another show topic.
Just do what's right. And I get there's some pieces of it that, when we can't get around there. I know we don't want to talk about police right now, but the system of child support is there to help you fail. So now you have to step up, custodial parent or non-custodial parent, and do what's right. And I get women going. I always go back to my relationship stuff. Is that you picked her? Right. So you're gonna have some difficult things to deal with if she's gonna come at you if she don't get what she want. Whoever said that on Facebook Live. So, but here's the thing: give her what she wants, not from you, for the child, and identify that and let her agree with it. There's a whole communication strategy behind that. So,
I like I said, once again, like I see I see my listeners, I don't use the courts in our situation. And that's very powerful. So let me tell you how powerful that is in itself. I'm still talking like we're on air.
Yeah.
We on Facebook Live. I'm just I'm trying to keep my mojo. But
Talk. They hear you. For more information,
all right, cool.
visit underagedrinking.com.
So you got to realize the kids are watching all the actions. So from the ages of 4 till adulthood, they are all engaged in everything that we do as adults. They're watching everything. So if mom and dad, whether you don't like each other or not, but if you guys come together and kind of plan, have a plan of action, okay, What's your pros and cons in the situation? What's my pros and cons? Bring them together, and then you actually have a solution.
And then just be able to identify the responsibility. What is your responsibility? If you don't, if you feel like, I have 2 sons, my thing with my kid's dad is you're responsible for teaching them how to do the basics, what I think a man should take. And so I gave him the definition of what I think a man should take care of. So you have to outlay those responsibilities. Right. So then you can meet each other. It goes back to the non-cash. I totally agree with the non-system support. Right. As long as you're there. Hey, you know what? Time is priceless. If you can pick them up for a whole 3, 4, 5 days straight, or swap weeks with me, that's priceless for me.
I'm going to cut your feet off because I'm old. Y'all know I'm 50 and I forget. So I had something just kind of just resonated in my mind, right? Let me say this.
Go ahead.
So think about it. The money in the situation is the disconnect. Mm-hmm. Because anybody that's paying money, like you paying a bill, you're kind of mad that you got to drop $500 on the bill. So now when that bill comes, you're frustrated. Oh, I got to pay $500 on this bill. So think about it. If you have a non-paying parent, or you guys set up something where you can actually, the child and the dad can coexist, y'all can coexist together. Now you're actually encouraging the dad to spend more time. Now all situations are not the same, but for the majority of the men that are decent men, mm-hmm. if you don't put a price tag on the relationship with them and their child, they'll be more apt to actually want to talk about the situation.
That's awesome. That's it. That's awesome.
You feel me?
I feel you. Yes.
All right, we're back. And you guys know Coach Archie love the hearts. I love when y'all, hey look, just heart my Facebook lives just because. Even if I ain't making a good sense, just give me some hearts. You feel me? Everybody love the hearts. Exactly. In all seriousness, we just touched, there go the hearts. Keep the hearts coming. Right. We were just speaking during the break. My guest, Miss Shakita Valentine, is in here with me. Dynamite young lady. We were talking about something about money. When you put a price tag to anything, it's like your mind has to just reprogram and figure it out. And by the time you do all that, you done missed out on something.
You have. We talked about money, but I really want to hone in on value mm-hmm. and what is priceless to you. To the custodial parent or non-custodial, what is priceless to you? I was conveying that time is priceless. You know what? If you don't pay $500, are you going to keep them for 2 weeks straight? Right. Are you going to keep them for the entire summer? Let's have that agreement, like you were saying before we went to break. Let's have that agreement, because that is priceless. That time I get an entire summer to myself to be free. I don't have to send them off the kid, wake up, breakfast, and send them off. So you have to find what's valuable to you. And yes, psychologically, when you dig into someone's pockets, you're affecting their lifestyle by which they already standard. Right. They set the standard up, and imagery is everything. Go back, mm-hmm. kind of tie back to the book. Imagery becomes everything nowadays, and so they trying to uphold this image, and then when you're digging in their pockets, they can't hold up their image. So just think about your value. What do you value the most? Is it really the dollar, or is it really the medical benefits that they can pick up? Is it really bringing in groceries, and you don't have to give you the money? Bring in the groceries for 2 weeks. Supply their lunch for the entire month. Yes. Find out what that would be for you, where mm-hmm. you won't have to exchange the cash, but hold them responsible for executing an action.
And like she said, that's a very valid point. And I always like to give people scenarios and examples. Mm-hmm. We all have jobs, and we all don't like our bosses, but we find a way to make it work. Mm-hmm. Which means if you don't have some type of rapport with your boss or relationship, you might not get paid if it don't turn out right.
But here's the thing. You want to get paid.
So
you suck it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
But women and men, they're not, quote unquote, sucking it up.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's why we're actually talking about this topic. We have to find ways. Again, the phone line is 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. Please call in and join this dialogue, because I love hearing from my listening audience, because that gives me insight on where I'm going to go with my actual conversation in the show. So one of my Facebook Live listeners said, I definitely don't want our daughter equating her value to a dollar amount conversation. Time spent means everything to a child, more than money. Once again, coming from a coach's standpoint, that's all kids want. Kids want time. Yes. The young man and the young lady don't know about the dollar amount that is being put on them to coexist. Let's say.
So here's a tip. Find out what your child wants. One thing, and this goes back to relationship piece, there is the love languages, the 5 love languages. There are certain things that people, they interpret love with. And find out what your child wants. I have 2 sons, and they want 2 different things interpreted as love. I have a son that wants me to hug on him and hold him and spend time with him. And I have one son that wants me to buy him stuff all the time. So that's the interpretation of their love. Right. So if you're not spending time with me, and I'm not spending time with you, and you're not spending time with me as a non-custodial parent, but you're giving my mom money or you're giving my dad money, I don't know that. Right. I don't know that your love is being filtered through the lights being on or food on the table. So you need to have that conversation with your child. And it's truly a conversation to be listening. It's attentive listening to your child to see and watching them to see what they need. And then that's how you love on your children. Because whether it be time or gifts or you just being at the game, that's what you need to find out what it is they want from you. What they want from you, yes. Truly, because that's when you really want to invest that energy, and it might not necessarily be monetary. So, you guys know Coach Demento, my organization. My Coach Demento organization is based off of solutions. Miss Shakita just gave you guys a solution. How many guys are you actually implementing that type of dialogue where you actually sit down with the child? And then don't play the age game, because kids from 3 on up, they can retain. Even if they give it to you in a baby language form, you can still gauge the direction of where they want their parents to go. And pay attention to their actions. Yeah. So do we or do you not actually sit down with the mom and dad and the child and talk about it? We have to start incorporating our kids into the, first of all, we need to incorporate our kids into these conversations, because, believe it or not, the kids become the buffer. Because now the kids are saying, well, what about me, mom and dad? You guys are both fussing at each other. Well, we can be out somewhere, eating at a restaurant or somewhere in a park, and I just want to see my mom and dad sitting beside each other. You guys don't even have to be talking, but just the mere fact that you're sitting beside each other in the park with me while I'm running back and forth, that's helping me. You made a very key point earlier, coexisting. How do you coexist? How do you coexist? I mean, how do you coexist? You can do it. You can, without arguing, because what's the focus? But how many people, you ride on subway trains, you ride on buses with strangers all day long and don't say a thing. But for some reason, you find some way to either say hello or start a topic with a stranger. But yet we can't figure out a way to break down those barriers and have some type of common decency. It's the contentious barrier. We have to break that down. We need a sledgehammer, one of them Acme cartoon TV Advil Jones. They just fall on somebody's head or something. We need to put our pride aside. That's what we need to do, basically, and let the child be the focus. Something that tore me up one year. So whenever I'm coaching, there's a young man or a young lady. If I see that there's something going on with them, I will pull them to the side and just have dialogue. So this one particular situation, it was a young man, and I was like, what's going on? My dad was coming to get me every Saturday for the last past 4 months. Him and my mom got in an argument, and I haven't seen my dad in 5 months. So, and I said, well, did your mom or dad or anybody explain to you what happened? No, my mom just said if my dad called, I better not answer the phone. Wow. So me as a coach, this quote unquote mentor, I'm in a position where the kid is looking for me to tell him something. But at that point, there's nothing I can really tell a child that he's going to retain. But see, our actions to our kids, because we're coming from a place of anger at the moment. So we're actually talking to our kid or in front of our kid, but we're not really paying attention to them. So now a young person whose mind is already all over the place, all he knows is that mom has told dad or told me not to answer my father's phone call. Right. And can you imagine the stories that he's created in his head? Right. And his dad can't even convey to him. He can't communicate, and the mother has intersected and possibly ruin that relationship
Right.
for a very long time.
I got another one. A female I was mentoring. Mom and dad, they're not together. Dad was doing his part paying child support. Very good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Mom started dating another guy. So this other guy got in the mom head. They tell the mom to raise the child support from the dad.
Wow.
Now guess what the mom did? The mom actually raised the child support by an additional $100. So now the dad, he's feeling a certain kind of way.
Absolutely.
Because now you done raised my money up. We didn't got a good situation going. Our daughter we're good.
Right.
But you allow this other dude
Another voice.
to come. So now guess what? So now the other dude is not even in her life anymore.
Wow.
So now what just happened? So now we done just disrupted
Yep.
the family component that we had.
Yes.
And once again, when money came into play, it's just so.
So I have a question. Why do some parents feel that because they pay child support, that's the end? Oh wow!
That's valid because that's bingo.
Here's why I think that is the end. It's the end.
It's the end.
You got what you want from me.
Right.
I'm giving you what you want. Go about your business.
Right.
Unfortunately, if we take that out, going back to the value portion, Dion, is that if we take that value, that monetary piece out of play, then they have to determine what the value is going to be for their child. So it does become the end because I'm giving you what you asked me for as the non-consolable parent, and you take it from there and use this money as a means, however that works for you. So that's why it becomes an end.
All right. Well, once again, you're in the air with Archie Beslow on the Archie Beslow Radio Show. Let's figure it out. My guest and host today is Miss Shakita Valentine. You're listening to WL 95.9 FM, WL 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com, where information is power. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Thanks, Dion. I see.
All right, Brother Mike. We as black men must learn how to be obedient, exercise your support, order it. It's no joke. I beg all my black brothers triumph from the system. If you're on child support, do the right thing. Amen. Hello, I get involved in the activities they're involved in, do research on topics or subjects regarding their career focus, steer their thoughts on their future. Got you. It starts with us being more responsible sexually before the child is conceived.
Amen.
All right, that's a bingo.
We're going to go there, please.
Hey, it's...
That initial decision makes all the other decisions.
These days are not like the old days. Remember when families used to sit and have dinner together and talk? This is how families used to communicate and interact with each other. I talk about that all the time, man.
I have no cell Sunday. No cell Sunday in my house. Sunday when they come in the house is... I understand the addiction for our teenage sons or our youth, but no cell Sunday. Let's just be us. It's just us interacting with each other, not you and your cell phone. No cell Sunday. It's just one day out of the entire week. So something to practice and implement. Or no phones at the dinner table.
So Shakita, and you know, the funny, and we talked about this before. There was a time when we didn't have cell phones. There was a time when we didn't have computers.
Right. Right.
Only thing we had the typewriters.
Right.
I always call it, what we're doing is the consistency. We want to be comfortable in everything that we do in life. So when comfortable combats a work ethic or something that's challenging, we rather stay in our comfort zone opposed to fight through that storm. Now if there's a sale going on at Macy's and you need that bag and them shoes, or that dude need that polo shirt, or that he fighting through that storm, he gonna get in that store. How many times have you guys, when the store is gonna close at 9:30, you left your house at 9:10 and you driving like 100 miles per hour to get to that store before it closed?
Because you need something.
Because you need something. But we don't put that same energy into our kids.
Concur.
Now, people will say, well, that happens, every now and then. Okay, but you gave it that effort at that moment.
Going back to intentions.
And your child need that effort
Yes.
every moment.
Yes.
child support doesn't determine the relationship of a mom and dad and their kid. And we have to stop putting that stamp on the money value as it relates to raising our kids.
I agree.
If I tell you all I got is $100 to pay for child support, but every time you call me, I'm coming to get that kid, please let me have that pass.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can find somebody in my family. If y'all need some groceries or something, I can find somebody in my family.
Somebody.
Or you can call somebody in my family and we can make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But don't put a dollar amount on my head. Everybody come back from the break. Yes, he did. He saw the best in me. All right, we're back. We're back with my dynamite guest, Miss Shakita Valentine. We're having great dialogue on Facebook Live and off the air. So some of the things that we were touching on is pretty much the consistency in how we go about our business with our kids. And when we put money in front of relationship, that's what I'm going to use. We're putting the money in front of the relationship with our kids. There are so many kids that are turning to their outside influences, their peers, the music they listen to, the TV shows they listen to. And mind you guys, I'm not getting off a subject because it all connects together.
It's the influential thing.
The influential thing.
Yes.
So what I challenge you guys, if anyone's having a situation where the child support situation is not a positive situation, I challenge you to either write a letter to the person or text the person and just say, let's have dialogue. Or even ask the question.
Go back to the framing. Frame the conversation.
The frame of conversation. And just ask somebody why.
Don't ask why.
Don't ask why?
Don't ask why.
What should we ask?
What happened?
What happened? Amen.
What happened?
That's
Because
right.
when you ask why, you're putting a person on the defensive. You ask them what happened, that gives them an opportunity to explain themselves and not defend themselves. So what happened to the money, or what happened, and how, you don't have to ask why.
All right, we have another call on the line. Caller? This is very cool. Who do we have on the line here? Miss Felicia from Texas? Caller, you on the line?
Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. You calling from Texas? Good God Almighty.
You already know.
What? How you doing, dear?
I'm doing good. Miss Shakita, you stirring some stuff up in here. You guys going. Me and my mom are going back and forth on this topic. But,
Okay.
I wanted to first call in and say, first, Coach, God bless your show.
Thank you, ma'am.
The tone your show takes really stirs up something internally in individuals if they're willing to really listen to what's being spoken. And this particular topic here hits home for me. As you well know, oftentimes we let our personal opinions really and truly cloud our decision making.
Amen.
And once I came to myself and realized this is not about me, nor is it about the other parent, it's about my son, we have to take steps to really see what we need to do together as co-parents. It's not in one particular parent's hands. And my provisions are made through my Heavenly Father. So whether He gives me $1 or $1,000, it's not going to cloud if I let my son see Him.
Amen.
That's what the greatest joy that came for me was. I'm not going to be so committed to a dollar amount. Yeah. But you will see actually when you're not committed to what the courts say do and not your own personal feelings, and allow a greater source to really orchestrate your intentions, it's going to change. Take the focus off what you want personally and what your children need, and allow healthy conversation to drive your co-parenting plan. And if you can't converse with that person, take a step back. Sometimes time is the greatest resource to build a healthy relationship.
Amen.
And you will see change come, and you will see a great change come, not about what you need or he needs, what the child needs. And that's where I say this topic is a great
topic because you're getting insight not only from these two individuals, but people that have been through it and can help you get to a greater reward after all the confusion is settled and the dust clears.
Felicia, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. You know, that is one area we're about to go into, but it's ultimately we believe in who's your ultimate provider.
Come on now.
And I have no place of, reservation of saying who's my ultimate provider. And my children have never had lack because I believed God will provide for them. And by means of me, he will come through me to provide for them. So I'm a proponent of that. And going to your topic of co-parenting, we were going to segue into that. Co-parenting is one of the topics that we're trying to get there. Right, this conversation is about people that's in a place where they can't get to co-parenting, because co-parenting is you're jointly doing something together. You have a mutual agreement. So we want to get this community that's in a contentious place with financial child support to a co-parenting state, because that creates the harmony, that reduces the contentions, that reduces the division, and it keeps our children whole. We want them at the end of the day to be holistically grown. We're not their children now, but we're raising adults. It is our responsibility to raise adults, and we want them to become responsible adults in the long run. So yes, thank you so much, Felicia, for chiming in on that.
Yes, indeed. Y'all be blessed. Wonderful show. And Miss Shakita, I pray God's blessings over you. You are a phenomenal woman of God. And there's some other offline conversations I want to have with you. We might try to get you to Texas, woman of God.
I receive.
Coach Archie.
Thank you so much, dear.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. There you have it.
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting. Go
Let's
ahead,
get
Shakira.
there.
Go ahead, dive in.
Let's get there. Let's eventually
my time is winding down.
It is,
WO
okay.
won't give me that. Don't give me another hour. I tell you that much.
So we're going to get to the place of, because we're trying to figure it out. We really want to get to a place where we realize that about 70% of our children are born out of wedlock. About roughly 20% of them are results of divorce. So we want to get to a place where we can start co-parenting, and going back to let's figure out what's wrong with what is co-parenting first of all, and what does it look like. Going back to the values, going back to identifying what creates the complications of co-parenting, and then what's going to be the thing that brings us together as co-parents. So I'm in a healthy co-parenting relationship, and it is phenomenal.
Awesome.
It's phenomenal.
Well, it shows because you got two dynamite kids, and both parents. I know both parents, and both of you guys are dynamite as well.
Thank
That's
you,
powerful.
thank you. But ladies, it takes some work.
Yeah.
Men, it takes some work to co-parent.
Yeah.
You got to have some phenomenal communication skills, and I know they say that, and you also have to be very tactful. Okay.
All right. So there you have it. Tammy Butler, what's up, sis? I see you watching, Tam. Happy belated birthday, brother Victor Watson. All right. Very powerful show. Very powerful show. What's up, Miss Lisa? Dynamite hairstylist. Wow.
I think we made some segue.
Yeah, we did. We did. So the resolve, the resolution. We gave out a couple of things. And if it doesn't relates to you guys, you can pass it on to somebody. Mm-hmm. We can connect via a letter.
Yes.
A text message.
A strategic text.
A strategic text message.
Because everything should be done via text. We know that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Strategically.
Mm-hmm. And let's start having dialogue amongst each other with our children. Right.
To find out what their real love language is,
Yes.
what they really want from each parent.
All right.
And even though your parents can't be together, but we want to give you what you need to become the whole person.
Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, if you need my services, Brother Archie Beslow, you can email me at archiebeslow@gmail.com. If anyone's looking for a motivational speaker, life coach, a mentor, reach out to me. I've spoken across the country. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I do well for myself. And I also can speak in corporate offices. It's not just about kids with me. I can actually come into your office and put some fire up under your coworkers.
Yeah.
Everybody needs an encouraging word here and there. Also, my website is archiebeslow.com, where you can also purchase my books. I have 2 publications. Shakita, where can we get your book from?
You can find it on Amazon. # spiritually selfie, arriving to the authentic you. You can find me on social media on Facebook and Instagram under Shakita Valentine. Or you can claim my email address.
Sure. Yeah,
It's
yes,
Shakita,
yes.
SHAKITA, Valentine is the day without the S, at gmail.com.
All righty. Well, once again, thank you for listening to the Archie Beslow radio show. I love you guys. So my engineer said I got 2 more minutes. I love radio. Miss Tiny be on it. Miss Tiny be putting up signs and signals. Y'all know me. I could talk forever. I know, right. But all jokes aside, we got my man Butch McAdams coming up with In and Out of Sports. Like I said, dynamite guy. I always encourage my listeners to, once you finish listening to my show, please tune into Brother Butch's show. Very powerful dude. One of my mentors, somebody that I respect a lot. So, yes, ma'am.
You told me that what coming up next week is something about co-parenting.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why. Hey, y'all.
Keep in mind.
I think Shakita's trying to lobby to be my co-host.
I'm not.
But next week's show, we're going to talk about step parenting. Step parenting, the effects that step parenting have on our kids.
The ideal co-parenting, and make sure there's a difference between co-parenting and codependence.
See that? She doing too much. She doing too much, y'all. For real though. I thought this was my show, but it's all jokes aside.
It is Archie's show. I love you, Archie. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Amen.
This is
the world show. This ain't my show. I'm just the vessel that God put in front of this mic to try to spark up type of conversation.
Amen.
You guys know me. I don't need the accolades. I just need the listeners, and I just need you guys to bring change because I love the Lord.
Yes.
I love the people that I'm talking to. And I definitely love myself. You feel me?
We know.
All right, you guys. So, is that my time, Tiny? All right, my time is up. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to the Archie Beslow radio show. Let's figure it out on WOL FM 95.9, 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com, where information is power. Love you guys. Peace. Be blessed. Thank you.
Hey, Dion, thank you. Yes, it does take effort.
Another great show, man. Another great show.
Thank you, Butch.